Hello, hello, hello. Now, something you'll hear haiku people often talk about is extended attributes. So I think it's about time we had a little talk about that. Attributes are bits of information that are attached to your file but are not part of it. Right, so here I have a text file. It's a bit of YAB source code, but if we open this up and have a look at it, this thing, this title, sizer.yab, it's not actually in the file. I didn't write it in there. It's just a title that I gave it. And so the title is attached to the file, but it's not actually in it. It's part of the file system. And so this kind of extra information, an attribute of the file, has been with us since the dawn of computing. Certainly it was around in the DOS era, probably in CPM, but that's before my time. And there's one set of attributes, although we normally call them permissions. Read, write, execute. You've seen this stuff before. For historical reasons, we keep this separate from the more haiku specific attributes, right? But if we go to file type, right, there's another attribute. This is a text/plain file, right? And we can set an application for this, which then will also be stored as an attribute. This doesn't actually go into your file itself. It's sort of, stuck alongside in the file system. So all file systems have this in one way or another, and some of them have it more extensively than others. So if we have a look here, some of the standard ones, name, real name. I imagine that's for symlinks. Size, when lost, modified, when it was created, the kind of file that it is, the location, and the permissions. Right, those are all attributes of the file that we can view in Tracker. So what's different in haiku? Well, what's different in haiku is that you can make up your own. You can define a new set of attributes that no one's ever thought of before and say, in my program, I want to use these. And you can see that very quickly with people files. So I've made one up here. Right, and you can see, don't try to contact this guy, he's completely made up. And this, if we look at it, 0 bytes. So where's all that data? His name, his address, his telephone number. Where is John Doe's details? They're all stored in attributes. And sometimes this can get out of hand. You remember when we looked at the different people programs, that, excuse me, I just have to let my dog in. That, the one program would have John Doe. That's the only name field it's got. And another one has separate ones. One for John and one for Doe. And as a result, these two programs are no longer talking to each other. So, yeah, it can be a bit tricky. Keeping these attributes synchronized. So, do you need to write a complicated C++ program to do things, interesting things with these attributes? No. You can do it from the command line. You can do it in a script. And if it can be done in a script, then you can do it anywhere. So, let's open up John Doe again. And let's have a terminal here. Let me just close this. Okay, so I have preloaded here. Add attr, T for type, string, and I'm going to add a fax number, 12345, to John Doe. So when I hit enter there, keep an eye out here on the fax field. And instantly, that is now part of the file. And I added it here from the terminal. So there's a couple of commands to do that. You can also remove it. You can list all the different attributes that are in play. You can see what attributes a specific file has. All right. I'm not going to go through all of them in detail, because if you go to the user file, then you will see that it's described very, very well. The other thing, though, is you can just leave it there, and only your own program uses these attributes. Or you can say, I want to make this available to the wider Haiku ecosystem. In that case, you have to have it indexed. And again, there are a couple of commands here, very well described in the user guide, to describe how you get your new attribute on the index. And when you do that, then it becomes available here in the find system. Right, so if we search by attribute, then all files and folders, let's say I only want people files. Where is it? Here, person. And now we should see, since I'm now searching for person files, I get all these attributes that I can search on because they've been indexed. Now you don't want to overdo this. You don't want to just keep on inventing new attributes and keep on indexing everything in sight, right? Because that will slow down your computer drastically. But, if it's one or two new sets of attributes, you shouldn't even notice it. Just don't make it thousands. Think very carefully whether you really need something to be indexed. Is your application sufficiently groundbreaking, fundamental, basic that you need to do this? And that basically is extended attributes. The BFS file system that we use, in a way, is like a flat file database. Okay, I'm saying in a way because somebody's going to come up and say, no, it's a completely different structure. Yes, but for our purposes, for the way it presents itself to us as simple Haiku users, there's the equivalent of a flat file database. Not a relational database, that's a whole nother level. But a flat file database that's available to us. So you don't have to do it. You can just use plain text files, read them in, parse them. But using extended attributes is a more Haiku-ish way of doing things, and it's the preferred option whenever we can. And in fact, that is the problem that I have with ported programs, right? We port stuff mostly from Linux, and Linux has no idea about these attributes that we can create, destroy, manipulate. And, so I think Qt and GTK won't be fully Haiku citizens until we figure out how to make them work with extended attributes and start creating Haiku-specific Qt and GTK applications that won't work on Linux, won't work on BSD, won't work on Windows, Mac OS, because they were written for Haiku. Thanks for watching.